Hey guys, how y'all doing? Now, what have I missed? So let's see. Happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, happy bonfire night. What else did we have? Oh yeah, happy Christmas or Merry Christmas. And happy New Year and happy birthday if you've had one in that time, like my dad, Leon Kutterick, Neve Fenton, Natasha Walker, a couple people at my school, Daisy. Oh, and another Daisy. 2 daisies. One in November, one in January. It's been a lot of birthdays. Did I mention my sister? She had her birthday in December. Anyway, hello again. How are you all? Sorry about the lighting. Did I already say that? I said it in the other video that I just filmed. So if you want to check that out, it's on my beauty channel and it's how to come up with this fabulous looking look. So I wanted to talk a little bit about inspiration and inspirational people because two of my biggest inspirational people's role models, that's the word, two of the biggest role models in my life have died this year, and it's really sad, and that is of course David Bowie, who has been a huge inspiration for me in style and in just generally being a good person and not being scared to be yourself and all that kind of stuff. And also he's helped me, like, not directly obviously, but he's helped me discover who I am in terms of my gender and my sexuality and being trying to be this androgynous person. And the other is Alan Rickman, who is just an amazing actor, who was one of my favourite characters in one of my favourite films of all time. And after he died, I read Half-Blood Prince again and just cried, and he was also in Die Hard and Love Actually and so many amazing things, which I'm just gonna marathon this weekend because oh my god, he's an amazing actor, and he is just so inspirational in terms of, again, just generally being a good person and his acting skills and how he works well with other people. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how I get inspired. So in terms of the way I look, I often take inspiration from, like I said, David Bowie. But I also just scroll through Tumblr or YouTube and find something that I like and try and copy it. But mostly, when it comes to my eyes, I often do quite gothic makeup. And a lot of people say if you do bold eye makeup, wear a nude lipstick. But I ignore that, and I often wear like bold eyes with bright red lipstick, or like wings out to here. Okay, that's a bit excessive. Like up to my eyebrow with like bright purple lips or something. And I just love doing bold makeup. I get a lot of inspiration from drag queens as well, which might sound a bit insensitive, but oh well, because honestly, they're just so fabulous. When I'm recording, which I know isn't that often, but I don't know where I get my inspiration from when it comes to that, to be honest. I mostly just sit down when something happens to me, or if something really big is happening in the world or in my life and I just like to talk about it, or if I just want to ramble for a little bit. I don't have any specific place where I get my inspiration from. When it comes to writing poetry, I often get my inspiration from my friends. So if one of them says something, I'll be like, ooh, that's pretty cool, I'll write that down. Won't ask them at first because they'll say no. But it's just really weird when I think about inspiration because it can come from anywhere. Like, I could get inspired by this pillow and be like, oh, I'm gonna start making pillows, or oh, I'm gonna make my next outfit, or like put my next outfit together based on this colour, or I'm gonna make a collage with this texture or something, because it's actually a really nice textured pillow. And it's just really weird how I can just look at something and be like, oh, I could do so many things to do with that, but I can also look at the same thing a day later and be like, it's nothing. Because inspiration to me comes in flashes, in waves. Like, one day I'll be really, really inspired and motivated, and then the next day my brain will just be stuck. And that's really sad, because the days where I'm really motivated are usually the days where I'm in school and I'm motivated, but I have to put that motivation towards writing an essay on Of Mice and Men, or put that motivation towards completing algebraic equations, or doing an artist research page for my graphics GCSE. And I get that all that stuff is really, really important, but I feel like I don't have time to do me stuff anymore. I rarely have time to write or film videos or draw, and I end up doodling in all my school books, and then I get told off, and then I feel like I'm doing something bad, even though literally the only thing I'm doing is doing something that makes me happy and actually helps me work. That's another thing. I'm not allowed to, well, in some classes I'm allowed to listen to music, and in some classes I'm not. But when I'm listening to music, I work better, because if I have headphones in, I can't hear what's going on around me, and I'm less likely to be distracted by someone's conversation over there, or what's going on outside the classroom. It's like in math. If I'm sitting there and I'm doing something, and I'm doing a question, and somebody on the other side of the room is 4 questions ahead of me, and they're talking about it to another student because they're on the same question, I can't concentrate on the question that I'm doing because they're doing a different question. And I don't think my teachers get that, and it's really hard to explain it sometimes. And I tried to explain this to my maths teacher, and he said, right, put your headphones in if you can do 3 questions in the next 25 minutes, because they're like really hard questions that took loads and loads of working out. Then I'll let you wear your headphones in lesson. And I did 5 questions in the next 25 minutes, and he still won't let me wear them. And it's really annoying, because it genuinely helps me out a lot. Like, a lot. Ugh. So, inspiration is a funny, funny thing. And it really upsets me that people who I have wanted to work with my entire life, like, seriously, I grew up watching The Labyrinth and listening to Space Oddity, and Starman, and, you know, singing Ground Control to Major Tom in my kitchen or in my bedroom or in the shower, and doing You Remind Me of the Babe, what babe, the babe with the power, with my mum, my dad, both my older sisters, my brother, and now my little sister, who is 6, okay? The day that we found out that David Bowie died, right, I, A, bought a lipstick called Rebel, because Rebel Rebel is my favourite David Bowie song, along with Heroes. And B, me, my mum, my dad, and my little sister sat down that evening, watched Labyrinth, and drank champagne, and just cried. Because he's touched, like, my parents, all my siblings, including, you know, my sisters in their 20s, and my 6-year-old sister, and me, and my 19-year-old brother, because he was just such an amazing man. And I get that he may have done some bad things in his life, or he wasn't a perfect person, you know, he did a lot of drugs, he did some really bad things to cool people, but everybody does bad things. And I know that's not an excuse, because there was, like, rape allegations against him and shit, which were never proved, by the way. Everybody does bad things, and we shouldn't say that he wasn't an amazing artist just because he did some shitty things. And then Alan Rickman died, and again I cried, and I cried, and I watched Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and I read Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and I just cried because I'm never gonna get to act with him, and he's never gonna. In an interview he said when he was 80 he was going to be sitting in an armchair reading Harry Potter to his children, and they'd ask him after all this time, and he'd say always. And that's like a really big quote from him that, like, everyone knows. And he's never going to be able to do that, because he died when he was 69. Oh. And I'm never going to be able to work with him, which was one of my, like, biggest, like, goals was to work with David Bowie and to work with Alan Rickman. So I'm going to talk about a couple of my role models who are still alive. Now, my first two are women who are huge women in my life, and the first is Taylor Swift, who, to me, is a feminist icon. A lot of people say she's a white feminist, which is basically somebody who only contributes to feminism when it, affects them. So if you were a white woman who was all for feminism but didn't care about black women or disabled women if you're abled or something. And I don't see where people are getting that from, except for the fact that she is a famous white woman who doesn't have any disabilities and isn't queer. And even though she isn't that, I don't see why people think she doesn't support people who are black, who are Asian, who do have disabilities, who do have mental illnesses, who are queer or trans or whatever. I don't see where people are getting that from. A lot of people say in her music video Shake It Off, it's because she has, black women twerking, but she also has white women twerking, and she also has black women doing ballet and black women doing interpretive dance. And people just focused on the black women twerking because they thought that was the only thing that mattered in that entire video, which is ridiculous. Entirely ridiculous. Ugh. Another thing about her is her style. To me, she always just looks so amazing, and that's, I've always loved red lipstick, but I've kind of become more obsessed with it ever since I started liking Taylor Swift a couple of years ago, because it's like her thing, and I want it to be my thing as well, kind of, because I love wearing red lipstick. I think I look really good in red lipstick, and it's such a powerful thing. I don't know why, I just feel like women wearing red lipstick is a really powerful thing. I don't know. And also I love her music. And if I could sing, I'd probably do a load of covers of her music, because I love her. And, I don't know. And another one is Caitlin Moran, who is an amazing person, an amazing writer, and a feminist, and an activist, and a style icon again. Now, I've only read 2 of her books. I've read The Chronicles of Narmo, I think it's called, which is like a short book that she wrote when she was really, really young, and How to Build a Girl, which is all about this girl who wants to reinvent herself, so she calls herself Dolly Wilde, and starts writing music reviews for this magazine, and earns loads of money from it, and she wears a top hat and this black tail coat with this big skirt, and I kind of want to look like that, even though that's just a fictional character, with her ripped tights and Doc Martens and stuff. I wish I could look like that. And it's just such a good book, and it's really beautifully written. Another one of her books, which I haven't read yet, is How to Be a Woman, which I cannot wait to read. But Caitlin Moran is just amazing to me, and I just agree with her on most things, and she always looks really good as well. She has this thing about wearing shorts, because she has big legs like me, and she has a thing about wearing shorts because she doesn't want to hide the fact that she's a little bit bigger than what a woman should be. Does that sentence make sense? I don't know, and I'm getting blinded right now, if you can't tell. And those are just 2 of my many icons in today's world, and again, I want to work with them. That's one of the main things that makes me like them. It's the fact that they make me want to work with them, or at least just meet them. I do have my copy of How to Build a Girl is signed, but I didn't actually meet her. It was given to me as a present from a woman that I know, who I met doing this art project at Z Arts, which is what my film Home, we made that at that project, and then she gave me the book, and So she had it signed, and it has a sticker in it that says I am a Manchester feminist, which I love, and then it has her signature, and it's so, so pretty, and I wish I had it with me right now, but I've lent it to a friend. And I feel like it's just really, really important to have those women. Yeah. I feel like I've been doing this a bit too quickly, and I apologise. Now, I have a question. What inspires you? Who are your idols? Are you sad about David Bowie and Alan Rickman and the many, many other famous people who have died this month, including Glenn Frey, or is it pronounced Fry or Frey? I can't remember. Who was an amazing musician, and the guy who played Robin Hood in Disney's Robin Hood. And Lemmy, who I think, well, he didn't actually die this year, but he was cool. Are you sad about all of that? Yeah. Bye. Peace out.